was many hundreds of years ago that the Dwarves first came to this land and founded the great hold of Carach Vondarim, where the mines went deep and they perfected the art of brewing strong ale. For many years they prospered, until space became tight and arguments over who should lead the hold grew. Eventually, a group of dissatisfied artisans split away and formed the hold of Carach Tharadim and dedicated their lives to the finest craftsmanship. Again, a few decades later, the Dwarves of the land split again, forming Carach Dulcalgor, where martial ability and runic magics were prized above all else. As well as the three great holds, numerous mining towns and farming villages were founded in this mountainous area, and the Dwarves flourished for many years. The Dwarves of the three holds were mostly self-sufficient and had little contact with outsiders, but would trade their goods with any travelling traders. This would continue until recently. In the last generation, the borders to the east have become increasingly troubled by greenskin raiding parties, and all trade to the east has been cut off as a result of this. During these troubled times, the three holds have been reunited under the new lord of Carach Vondarim, who has named himself king of the newly founded kingdom of Vondarel. Vondarel now has official borders and can be patrolled and protected by the combined might and specialities of the three holds. If only the dwarves of Vondarel knew the real threat amassing outside of their borders. Lord General, our scouts from the Swift Riders report a large greenskin raiding party heading for our borders near the town of Briar Glen. Again? Will they never quit? Have they not learnt? Let's make an example of this raiding party and make them think twice about crossing our borders again. Are Dodrock Stormshout and Athrock Merrywater's linebreakers still here? Yes, my lord. Then raise them immediately, and we'll meet the Swift Riders at Briar Glen and see if we can raise some locals while we're at it.
Scruffy Crow.
Okay, the dwarves to protect in here. We've got my linebreakers. First we have Dodrock Stormshout and his thunder axes. Here we got my general, Gomrock Flamehammer. Here we have Athak Merrywalker and his merry men. The local militia being called out. That's the Briar Glen boys here. And the scouts that alerted us to the threat, the Thardic Swift Striders. And there is the small but elite dwarf force trying to repel these greenskins. And the goblins they're trying to repel, we have Zocht, the goblin lord, and he's brought with him 3 units of spearmen, goblin spearmen, some wolf riders, some unusual wolves that they're on, a unit of orc spearmen, some orc swordsmen, some goblin archers, and a light catapult. Okay, the armies are arrayed for battle. The first few goblin units to arrive on the battlefield are these wolf riders and some spearmen. And then on the dwarf side, the scouts that spotted the encroaching force and the local militia roused to defend their own borders. Hopefully the backup will arrive soon for the dwarves and the goblins will fail to get themselves together to any sizable force before the end of the battle. The winning conditions for this is if 4 goblin units get within 12 inches of my table edge. That counts as them breaking through my lines. And if by the end of turn 10 that hasn't happened, the defenders win. So this is the ultimate test of quantity over quality. Okay, as the goblins come across the battlefield, the dwarves are hoping that their reinforcements arrive any time now. Okay, and that is more than enough to bring on my first unit of iron breakers onto the table edge. And they can make a further 2-inch movement onto the table because they count as already having moved once. Are the rest of the line breakers going to arrive? Yes, they are. To back up these border guard over here. And the general to lead them, or is he staying at the back? Or the general to lead them, or is he leading from the rear? He won't be showing up this turn. Okay, at the end of turn 1, most of my reinforcements have arrived, but General Flamehammer is lagging behind. The goblins have got a few more of their guys onto the battlefield, but not as many as possible. And we are just sort of forming ranks before the real fighting starts. And that's 2 wolves dead. And Flamehammer finally made it to the battle. Okay, at the end of turn 2, there's been an exchange of missiles over here. I took out a couple of Wolf Riders, and the Goblins took out a couple of Line Breakers. The Wolf Riders then went on to threaten my militia, who valiantly attacked them, but lost the fight, as you saw. And all the rest of the Goblin units are slowly encroaching on my territory. And I'm holding a firm Dwarven line. Second time round, the militia did a lot more damage to the Wolves. So the end of turn 3, things are looking fairly similar, but just getting bloodier. The archers, the Goblin archers, have been slowly whittling down my line breaker units before they can do anything useful. The poor lads from Briar Glen have been getting it from all sides. They've destroyed most of the Wolf Riders, but got countercharged by the Goblin horde here. But they're clinging on. Thunder axes have also become disordered, but managed to repel the Goblins attacking them quite effectively. All in all, the brave boys in blue are holding the line, but how much longer can we hold out against the greenskin horde? Okay, end of turn 4, this side of the table, nothing much has moved. The archers continue to pick each other off. These line breakers slowly losing men. The militia still holding their ground, as are the other unit of line breakers. However, there is a lot scarier things coming back towards them. We are being slowly swamped by a tide of greenskins. And over to this side of the battlefield, these two orc units have got a free run to the edge of the battlefield with very little to stand in their way. So at this point, things aren't looking too good for the Dwarves or the village of Briar Glen. So General Flamehammer has seen that the battle is not going his way, and he's decided to use his command ability to activate both of these units, if he can, to try and one last stand against the greenskin horde. And that's the end of turn 6. The line breakers actually didn't activate because we called the game here, but they're still menacing those guys. My archers helped whittle down the orc spears, helping to send them off the table. The line breakers took out the second to last unit of orc spearmen. These two units are still untouched, but with 4 units required to get to my table edge for a victory condition, we decided neither the archers nor the light catapult were going to make it in time. So the Dwarves have managed to hold the line. Stars of this game are probably the remaining members of the Briar Glen boys, who've managed to hold on against all odds and even take out a few orcs with just the 2 of them. Also, the Thunder Axes whittled down to just 2 men, and Dodric Stormshout himself finally repelling the orcs in the centre there. The Thardic Swift Striders as well have done an excellent job whittling things down from the flank here, and certainly deserve a battle honour. So all in all, a slim victory to the Dwarves, who really, when it came down to the last few numbers, pulled out their elite status, and it turns out that quality is better than quantity.
We've driven them back again, but that was no normal raiding party. We need to be more prepared in future in case this happens again.
The Dwarves defended their lands once again, but took heavy losses at Briar Glen. It was unusual for the Greenskins to be this bold. They were after something. The Dwarves swore that they would not be caught this unprepared next time. Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe if you want to see more of these. Hopefully this will be part of an ongoing series chronicling the Greenskin Dwarf Wars between me and Jonny, and potentially some other players. If you got any thoughts, please let me know down in the comments. Maybe come and say hi on the Discord. And as ever, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.